Hey, everybody. Number 87 in the Criterion collection. I know, the last episode was 85. This one's 87. 86 is a collection of three movies that we are reviewing individually as numbers 87, 88A, and 88B. I'm doing the best I can. It's trying to kind of come up with a consolidated system for this is tricky. So number 87 in the Criterion collection is Alexander Nevsky, directed by Sergei Eisenstein from the Soviet Union, 1938. This is our second Russian film. Our previous one was Andrei Rublev. And like that, this is also a kind of historical biography. That's what's in the Criterion collection for Russia is historical biographies. This one in particular is about Prince Alexander Nevsky rallying the peasants to fight off a German invasion shortly after dealing with an invasion from the Huns. I believe it was the Huns or the Mongols. It was the Mongols. I do not know my Russian history, but I'm learning a bit through this. That is essentially what the movie is this Prince Alexander is called up to help the German Templar Knights are pushing into Russia and conquering Russian cities one at a time. He is called up. He rallies the citizens, the peasants, to rise up and to fight back. And using some strategy and some helpful landscape, he is able to fight off their advances. Watching this, I immediately felt like this is the most propaganda-esque film I've ever seen. Because in the opening scene, it's the Mongols coming in after they've already been defeated. The Mongols are coming in, and of course they're all dressed in various dark clothing, dark complexions. And they come to a Russian fishing village where Prince Alexander is leading some fishermen. And all of the Russians are very blonde and wearing white flowing outfits. It's very clearly good guys, bad guys. Very clearly. And then the Germans are equally just unpleasant, but the Russians are all noble and pure of heart. So it felt very much like propaganda to me. And then I realized when this movie was released, 1938, they put out a Russian film about fighting back against the Germans historically. And apparently, there is a swastika hidden in the film if you look closely. And apparently, there were plans for there to be more swastikas on the German army to make it more evident what he was saying. But this was the director's attempt to basically stir up some propaganda and encourage people to rise up against the fascist Germany at the start of World War II. That's why this film came out. At least that's why it came out the time that it did. Maybe this story was going to come out regardless. The film is pretty well made. It is a black and white film. The battle scenes go on for a while, but they are quite impressive. Because it's in an age before CGI, so it's just hundreds of extras running around on a battlefield swinging at each other. There is an excellent sequence where they're fighting on a frozen lake and the lake starts to fall apart. I am shocked at that. As far as I know, none of the actors died filming that because it's people wearing armor. Now, admittedly, it's probably, I don't know, 1938. What are the odds of them wearing plastic armor versus actual metal armor? I'm not sure. I think it could be metal. Anyway, yeah, they're going into the water wearing at least pretend armor, if not real armor. I'm amazed nobody actually drowned or died because the way it looks and the way it was filmed, I don't see how they did that super safely. It is very impressive. The war scenes, just even the city scenes, just so many extras, so many actors. There are times where the military stuff almost has like a comedic soundtrack to it as they're charging into battle. It's like it's not yakety sax, but it's like not yakety sax. There are a couple of shots that are just a little curious, like why did you choose that soundtrack for people charging into battle? Okay. Uh, Overall, decent film. Should you watch this film? Man, I don't know. I need to stop asking that question. Do you want to watch a black and white Russian film that's based on true history and has really great war scenes? If so, this is your thing. If that sounds dull as dirt to you, then it's not your thing. I will say, though, it is a fairly. When it maybe because my only other exposure is Andrei Rublev, when I think of a historical foreign film, I expect it to be at least 2 hours long. At the minimum. I'm expecting more like 2.5. I'm under the impression that historical films are slow, long films. And this is not the case for this one. This one is 112 minutes, so it's just a little bit over an hour and a half. And a good chunk of that is just the war scenes, which is very impressive. I almost at first thought that the war scenes were going on too long, but then I remembered how much I love Other Hand, how much I love Road Warrior over here, and like the last 30 minutes of that movie is just a chase sequence. So like, yeah, kind of like that. Very long action sequence, and that's fine. Anyway, next time in the Criterion Collection, we are continuing with Sergei Eisenstein because 86 was a collection of 3 of his films. Ivan the Terrible, Part 1, from Sergei Eisenstein from Russia or the Soviet Union in 1944. And then after that will be 88B, Ivan the Terrible, Part 2, from 1958, from 14 years later. Oh, and then we start jumping around again. Just looking forward, we've got a couple of United States, a couple of United Kingdoms, a Japanese film. Yeah, it looks like we got a lot of English coming up for a while, honestly. That is, after these Russian films, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the next 9 movies are in English. So, that's it. That's Alexander Nevsky. I will see you guys back here for Ivan the Terrible. I hope you all had a great holiday season. And I think you'll see me one more time before the new year. I think so. But if not, I hope we all have a better 2026. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.